a glorious day like this can only mean one thing: bike day. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen this bike the way it looks right now. I did a little mock-up just to see kind of the geometry of the frame, just to kind of work it out in my head before I started doing the build. So let's take it back to just the frame. So first I just wanted to remove the headset itself and get the fork off. But as you can see from this bit here, it was quite stuck in. I wasn't quite sure why it was so stuck at this stage. So I grabbed a little bit of wood, because I couldn't find my shop mallet, and put it on top and then just hammered it down. But again, as you can see, this wasn't the greatest way of doing it, because I had to hold the fork at the same time so it didn't hit the floor. So it took me way longer than it needed to. Look how crusty that fork is. Just a quick check for spiders. These are quite obviously not the original decals that are on the bike. I think the bike's actually been powder coated at some point, because it's powder coated. That's why I think. So I wanted to get these off, so I just used the heat gun, which it works pretty well. And when I say pretty well, I mean pretty well considering it was on fire. But I don't know what I really expected from it, because the gun was made by an old shark. But I ignored the smoke and just carried on. I used a tyre lever, just something hard and plastic so it didn't affect the actual frame itself, and just scraped it off. It came off super easy. I was quite surprised. I thought this was going to be a bit of a challenge. Oh yeah, it's still smoking. Saw this years ago on a Seth's Bike Hacks video, and I had to buy some. It's quite expensive in the UK because you have got to get it on Amazon. I'm pretty sure this is shipped in. It's not really made here, but it's very, very good for getting off like sticker residue and stuff. And I've had this bottle for a long time, and it's still got loads in it. And then, as always, just a bit of muck off just to clean off any grime and dirt that was left on the frame. At this point, I noticed that the threads look brand new on the bottom bracket, but then on closest when I looked closer, it was powder coated. At this stage, I didn't think it was much of a big deal, but you'll see later that it became a big deal. Tell me you like bikes without telling me you like bikes. But anyway, one clean frame, looking all nice and ready for the next stage. So the fork that came on this bike I'm going to use on a different project, which I won't tell you much more about now. So I had to get the race off. So obviously I grabbed the first thing that came to mind, which was a piece of wood. This didn't work that well. I ended up having to use a screwdriver to kind of get it off, which probably not the best thing in the world, but it didn't damage it. It left a little bit of scratch on it, but it's fine. So this is the fork that I am going to use on this build. It's a DMR trail blade. A friend of mine, Sean, gave me this. Last time he used it, he hit a jump and went over the bars and knocked himself out. So I'm hoping there's no bad juju kind of on this fork. I don't want to kill myself. And the wood, yeah, that now lives in my toolbox. I've had a few people ask me to do a decal tutorial. I am going to do that in more detail, but I thought I'd give you a bit of an overview whilst I had to do some for this project. How you actually get your designs is kind of up to you. I used Illustrator to do mine. For this build, I couldn't find any actual logos for the bike, so I had to basically recreate them myself. The machine I use is a Cricut Explorer. They all work pretty differently, so this could be different depending on which machine you're using. But I dumped the artwork into the Cricut app, and then measured out the frame to work out exactly how big each decal needs to be. This cuts it to the exact same size as what you need it to be, so you need to make sure you are measuring things and doing it once so you don't waste a load of vinyl basically. After that, you line them up on the mat on the app, and then put your vinyl on a mat, the right amount you need for the designs. Then you just load it in the machine and let it do its magic. Well, while that's cutting, I thought I'd tell you about some new stickers that I've got on my website. This is my logo sticker. These actually sold out a couple of days ago. I put them on the website before I uploaded this video, and they went really quickly with some other orders and stuff. So thank you guys. That was really awesome. There is some more of those coming soon. But what I do have still left are these cool smiley chain stickers. These I had a lot more of, and they're still available. So if you want to get one of those, this is the website right here, saveoldbikes.com. Link below. So this bit can be as equally frustrating as it is satisfying, but it is just peeling off all the excess vinyl that you won't be needing for the decal. And then after that, I put some transfer tape over the top of the design to then be able to put it onto the frame. For best results for putting any decals on any sort of bike, especially when you're painting things, is to make sure you use some sort of alcohol or something to get rid of any kind of like dirt or grease that's on there. I always use this alcohol stuff I got off Amazon. I think it's a few quid. But yeah, make sure you do that first, and then place it on the bike. That cat's been on my hoodie again. Bloody cat. Right then, all the parts are here. It's time to build this thing. So the headset and the bearings went in some evaporust for a couple of days because of how bad it was at the beginning of the build, but now the bearings sound like this. So they will need replacing, but for now they'll have to do. But the headset also is a little bit messed up now. I reckon there must have been rust underneath the paint, so when I put the evaporust, it kind of ate all that rust away, and then the paint just fell off as well. So I think I'm just going to have to get a new headset. That's fine. So I've fashioned a new shop hammer with a bit of inner tube, which I was pretty proud of. So I could put the star nut into this fork. You should probably use a proper tool for this, but it's alright. The stem is a Brand X stem, but to make it look a little bit more jazzy and a bit cooler for the build, I bought some red anodized bolts. Oh, hello cat. I've been using this copper compound on quite a few builds now, and I absolutely love it, so thank you Muck Off. While putting this top cap on, the bolt rounded off, so I'm pretty pissed about that, but I've ordered a new one now and it'll be here soon. So one of the things I forgot to buy was a seat post clamp, so I picked this one up on Amazon. It said it would fit, but it doesn't. It says on the back that it's a 31.8 when it says it will also work for a 30. I shouldn't have believed Amazon, because it doesn't fit. But as I was desperate to get this bike built, I decided to kind of just improvise. So I basically just put it down past the actual top of the frame part. Basically so it would just squeeze the frame together at least round the post. It's not perfect, but it's aluminium on steel, so it's not going to hurt anything apart from the clamp, so it's fine. I've never used a pivotal seat post and seat combination before. They take seconds to set up. Seats can be quite a pain to kind of get them all lined up, everything how you want them, but this is one bolt, it's sick. Now the BB. So drive side went in. It did feel a bit rough, but it went in. I just popped the crank on just to see what the distance looked like, if the space was okay. But as soon as I started putting the non-drive side in, I couldn't get it to go true. And it's because of the powder coating on the frame. It started to eat away at the BB. So I got this one that I know is a lot stronger, and it's actually expensive BB, just to see if I could get it in any better, and I couldn't. But against my better judgments, I made it go in. Basically, I just kept going until I could try and get it to go true. I finally got it to bike true and just put it in. It's probably going to be quite hard to get it out, but it's a steel frame, so it wouldn't have damaged anything. Crank and chainring from the parts bin. I didn't know exactly what I needed. From my research, 32 on the front and 13 on the back seems like a good mix for me, so that's what we're running for now. Brakes are also a temporary setup for now, but I did get some red anodized bolts for the caliper at least, to make it look a little bit cooler. The bars are also brand X, another temporary measure just whilst I tried it worked out exactly what I wanted. These bars will be used on a different project, so I didn't buy them just to throw them away, obviously. That'd be insane. Guess what I'm going to say about these brakes? That's right, they are for a different build. Tyres took me a while to work out what I wanted. I decided to go for Maxxis, and then on the rear, a DTH 2.15, and then for the front, being the UK and winter, an Icon. I did a lot of research into kind of front tyres and a bit extra grip, and this cross-country tyre kept coming up, but you know it's a good combination when you get this on your Instagram. Our top options for dirt jumpers. Now that is the validation I needed. I ended up talking to the guy for a little bit, and Maxxis, really nice people. Talking about nice people, I went for a small brand in the UK for the wheels, AirBike. I wanted something that was going to be a good price, but the main thing I needed was something that had high engagement on the actual freewheel. Yeah, that's the engagement I was looking for. Another thing I noticed when putting the skewer on the bike, the AirBike skewer has like flat edges, so you can use a spanner to tighten it up. Real nice touch, AirBike. Good job. Now it's built up, let's see how good this free hub really sounds. Impressive. The cable I used for the brakes was red. I thought it was a really good idea, but as soon as I finished building it, I changed my mind. But it's the first thing I'm going to actually replace on this bike, so it's fine for now. I also decided I wanted to keep it quite long, so I could do like bar spins, but that's ridiculous because I can't do bar spins, so I cut it shorter. And that was that. Just a few little finishing touches to make it all kind of clean. I also couldn't find any black zip ties when I was doing the cable, so it's got these horrible orange ones. It needs to be replaced, but here it is. I am super happy with the way this came out. There's a couple of bits I still will probably change and need to upgrade. The first thing is going to be the brake, because the cable is just, it hurts me looking at it. But everything else just works really nicely. And it feels so good to ride. And that brings us to the end of another video. Thank you so much for watching this and hanging out with me today. You wanted some ride footage? Here's a little bit. Let's try that again, shall we? And that's the end of another video. Thank you so much for watching it and hanging out with me today. Next week's going to be a bit of a deep dive into this bike and kind of talk about what I love about it, what I hate about it, and I will give you a lot more ride footage. I'm going to take it out a couple more times and kind of get some more different cool things. That was the best outro I've ever done. Every word made sense.